In fact, just a day into India's mega missile test, India enforces a giant no-fly zone, 5,400 kilometers of no-go zone in sea. No-fly zone from Odisha to Indian Ocean. India set to test long-range missile, a mega missile muscle amid China's tussle. Two-day-long airspace curbs that begins today. Here's big news coming in, even as there's friction between India and China. Just a few days ago, along the Arunachal Tawang region, we see that India now flexing its muscle. India enforces a giant no-fly zone of 5,400 kilometers of no-go zone in sea. Let me cut across to Shiv Aru to give us the significance of this move. Shiv, a quick word. India now enforcing a no-fly zone up to 5,400 kilometers all the way from Odisha to the Indian Ocean. Give us an understanding.
Nabila, this is very likely the most ambitious missile test ever undertaken by India so far. This particular missile test is scheduled for a window between today and tomorrow. And this is a no-fly zone that has been activated and signaled by India, across over 5,400 kilometers of the Indian Ocean, stretching from the Indian East Coast across the Bay of Bengal, deep into the Indian Ocean, practically, off the west coast of Australia. Never before has India signaled such a large no-fly zone for a missile test, and this can only mean, one of two things. Either it's a maximum range test of one of our existing ballistic missiles like the AGNI-V or the K4 submarine-launched ballistic missile, or it could be the first test of some kind of new missile, speculated to be a longer-range version of either the AGNI or the K series of submarine-launched missiles, which could be the AGNI-6 or the K5. Now, it's very difficult to, predict precisely what this must be, because apart from signaling the no-fly zone, very little information actually comes out of the Indian MOD and the establishment about what these are, because these tests are, of course, conducted with a degree of secrecy, but the no-fly zone indications have to come because of safety of aircraft and, shipping traffic in the area. So it's mandatory for all countries to signal no-fly zones whenever weapons tests are being conducted, and that's pretty routine. But the new aspect here is the sheer length, the sheer size of the no-fly zone that has been notified by the Indian establishment, and that suggests that this could be a mother of all missile tests. We don't yet know what it could be. What appears certain, Nabila, is that this is going to be a long-range ballistic missile, part of India's nuclear program. These are missiles like the AGNI-V, K4 missiles. These are all nuclear delivery platforms. These are capable of delivering nuclear warheads, and they are part of India's strategic forces or the nuclear command. So we'll have to wait and see between today and tomorrow what precisely this missile is. Is it a longer range version of an existing missile, or is it a brand new missile, sporting many new capabilities? That remains to be seen. Also, remember the significance of December 15th, 16th. December 16th happens to be the Vijay Diwas of the 1971 war. It's a very auspicious day for the Indian defense establishment. So either today or tomorrow is when the notification has happened. So we'll have to see what the missile is and, whether it achieves all its capabilities.
Right. While India is at it, we hear that this exercise is predated. Shiv, if you can give us some clarity, was this always the plan to carry out this drill? And now that the friction has taken place, it's all the more important and gains huge significance as well.
Very important question, Nabila. Yes, this was a pre-planned exercise because remember that, when such an ambitious missile test takes place, it takes months of planning, and also there is a mandatory, pre-notification requirement which is supposed to happen many weeks in advance. So this particular test was planned far before the clash that took place in Tawang. So I want to make that very clear for all of our viewers. It is not linked in any way to what's happening on the border. These are scheduled routine tests of nuclear delivery platforms that take place. Even China does them. But the interesting part is the fact that it happens amidst, a degree of tension between India and China obviously has its own messaging. There will be, it will have its own echo, its own splash, as it were. China has always reacted adversely to Indian missile tests. They've always pointed a finger and said this raises tensions in the region. But as far as India is concerned, these are routine tests. These are part of India's nuclear program and nuclear deterrent program, rather. and therefore India will continue with these tests. Like you rightly pointed out, there is a large Air Force exercise, which also, mind you, was planned before the current spike in tensions between India and China in Tawang. So India will continue to do them. The word from the Indian establishment has always been that, we don't link our defense activities, to what is happening, in small parts of the border. We have our own, our own systems, our own administration, our own schedules, and we will carry them out. But this is a very, very crucial test, and it will be taken notice of amidst the current context for sure.